Thank you everyone for coming. My name is Leila Dance. I'm the NDP candidate for Elmwood Transcona in the next by-election. Today we're talking about corporate greed and driving up prices for groceries. The reality is 1 in 5 Canadians are skipping meals they can't afford because of the cost of groceries, including our neighbors that I've heard here in my own community. We know Manitobans are accessing food banks more than ever now. We need to look at our receipts after we're shopping and wonder how so few groceries could cost so much money. Canadians are tired and frustrated with unfair prices for the basic food necessities, while corporate grocery chains like the one behind us are raking in record number profits. This needs to change. That's why I'm proud to be part of a team of New Democrats that are fighting for change, lowering grocery prices and stopping CEOs from ripping off Canadians. You deserve a party with a leader that is dedicated to fighting back and standing up against corporate greed. I'm happy to introduce our leader of the NDP, who is fighting for you, Jagmeet Singh.
Thanks so much, Leila. I'll get you that for a sec. It is an honor to be here in Elmwood, Transcona with our incredible candidate, Leila Dance. Leila, thanks so much for being here, and thanks for the great work. So we just went grocery shopping, and like Leila was saying, when you go in to the grocery store, it feels every time you go in, you're so worried about how much things are going to cost. Because every time you go in, it feels like things cost more, and you're right, they do. We just went in, I'm going to pull up my receipt now. We just went in and bought 3 items. For 3 items, our total came to over $35, just for 3 items. We got a watermelon, staple for the summer. You think summertime, we're going to eat a watermelon. Watermelon cost $9. We got also some tomatoes, just a regular kind of bunch of tomatoes, $8 for these tomatoes. And then one of the staples for a lot of people, that's okay, we can let it go. We'll get it afterwards. One of the staples is olive oil. Olive oil right now, this costs $18 for the olive oil. I mean, these are astronomical prices. This is tough. And this is just one day. Families are going to have to grocery shop regularly every week. They're going in and they're feeling like, how do I buy enough food for my family? And a lot of people are making tough choices. They're saying, you know what, maybe I can't have that family gathering that we normally have. Maybe I can't have that barbecue. It's just going to cost too much. The fact that people in Canada, people in Winnipeg, are having to make decisions where they don't have gatherings, where they don't get those special treats, they don't have those special gatherings because they can't afford their groceries, is a problem. And it's a problem because, as Leila mentioned, corporate greed is driving up the cost of food. When you go in and buy groceries and you see you're buying less and less and paying more and more, at the other side of that are CEOs making record profits. These corporate grocery stores are making more money than they've ever made before. And that is because Liberals and Conservatives have written the rules to stack the decks in their favor. So they're making off like bandits. But people are paying the price. People are hurting. So we want to change the rules. While Justin Trudeau has been in power for a long time, he's seen corporate grocery stores make these record profits and rip you off for 2 years where food inflation outpaced general inflation. He really did nothing. We were the ones pushing to say that we've got to change this. We've got to take this on. And Pierre Poilievre wants to pour fuel on the fire. He wants to let these corporations rip you off even more. None of that's going to help you. So what we're saying is, here are some concrete things we can do to change the rules, to help out people. Our proposal is this. Let's force these corporate grocery stores to lower the price of essential items, and if they don't, impose a price cap. Let's stop the corporate giveaways. Liberals and Conservatives have given away billions of dollars to large corporations like these corporate grocery stores. Let's stop that. And let's make them pay what they owe, pay their fair share, and use that revenue to give people a break. We can change the rules so that people are the priority. We can change the rules to protect consumers. We can change the rules so you and your family can afford your groceries. That's what New Democrats are committed to doing. That's what I'm committed to doing. That's what Leila Dance and our entire team, that's what we're about. With that, thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to your questions. Okay, we're going to do that in French, and then I'll look forward to your questions. Donc, je suis tellement honoré d'être ici à Winnipeg avec notre candidate Leila Dance dans la circonscription de Elmwood Transcona. On vient de faire l'épicerie et comme vous savez, c'est difficile. Chaque fois qu'on fait l'épicerie, on a peur que le montant, le coût va être énorme. Et ça, c'est la réalité. Chaque fois qu'on fait l'épicerie, c'est plus cher que la dernière fois. Et ça, c'est un problème. On sait que chaque fois, on regarde les prix qui sont trop hauts, c'est causé par les grandes entreprises d'épicerie qui exploitent les gens. Et ça, c'est parce que les libéraux et les conservateurs ont écrit les lois qui donnent tout l'avantage aux ces entreprises, ces PDG. Et ça, c'est quelque chose qu'on doit changer. Justin Trudeau a laissé ces grandes entreprises de le faire depuis longtemps. Et puis, Pierre Poilievre veut jeter l'huile sur le feu et donner plus de pouvoir aux ces entreprises de vous arnaquer. On veut arrêter ça. On veut changer les règles pour vous aider, pour vous protéger. Notre plan, c'est, premièrement, on va imposer, on va dire aux ces entreprises, vous devez réduire les prix des essentiels, sinon on va imposer, on va plafonner les prix. Deuxièmement, on va arrêter les gros cadeaux, des milliards de dollars que les libéraux et les conservateurs ont donnés aux ces grandes entreprises. Et finalement, on va s'assurer que ces grandes entreprises payent le juste part, puisqu'on peut réinvestir cet revenu en donnant un coup de main aux gens. On peut changer les règles, on peut aider les gens, c'est exactement ce qu'on veut faire, c'est ce que Leila Dance, notre candidat, veut faire et ce que les néo-démocrates veulent faire. Merci, and with that, I'm ready for any questions. Yeah.
I guess first of all, with the idea of price caps, is there a way that the NDP has thought that this would not hurt independent, small, family-owned grocers? And how does the NDP plan on protecting producers from when grocery companies put this right back on them?
So first off, our focus really is on corporate grocery stores. So we want to make sure that that's who we're targeting. Those are the ones that are making record profits. Those are the ones that are ripping off people. And so we want to target the corporate grocery stores. Independent grocery stores, local shops, those are actually, we need more of those. We need to incentivize them and support them. So this is not about impacting those local, small, independent grocery stores. It's about going after the corporate chains, like the ones behind me. That's what we want to do. In terms of how we do it, we look at other countries that have done this before. Right now, France is an example. They've been able to lower the price of 5,000 essentials, and they've negotiated with 75 retailers. So they've got a lot more retailers, we've got a lot less. In Canada, there's really just 5 or 6 large corporate grocery stores that run basically the majority of the grocery stores you go to. It's either going to be one of those big 6 corporate grocery stores. So we've got a plan around how we can do that. We've got other countries that have done it. We want to target the corporate greed that's going on and make sure people get an advantage. We can do that by protecting consumers and producers, but really want to get at the corporate greed of these large corporate grocery retailers that are ripping people off.
And I guess, just to follow up there, in terms of protecting producers, the people who are growing those watermelons, growing those tomatoes, bringing in that olive oil. What's to say you bring on these changes onto these grocery companies and then they just go back and they're squeezing farmers for more pennies on the dollar?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, a lot of the stuff we bought was imported anyways. This is stuff coming from other countries. The watermelon were from the States. The olive oil was also imported. So really, it's the retailers that are, in a lot of ways, just jacking up the prices. We see the evidence. We see that they're making record profits. The Competition Bureau has confirmed. This is Canada's independent organization that looks at how consumers are being treated. And they found conclusively that these large corporate grocery stores are increasing the profit margin. So we know we're getting ripped off. And the Liberals and Conservatives have let this happen. They've written the rules that have allowed them to do this. One example of something that we've changed, we had to force the Liberals to bring in a change to make price gouging against the law. The Competition Bureau pointed out we can't go after price gouging. We're not allowed to do that because it's not actually written in the law as something that is illegal. So we had to fight and force the Liberals to bring that in. Now it is an offense. They cannot break the law and price gouge. So that's something the Competition Bureau can now investigate. Before they couldn't, before we came in and forced them to change that. That's an example of the rules that we want to change to protect consumers.
Jordan from the Free Press here, yeah.
Hey.
You've talked about some of the ideas you have, some of the big aspirational goals or ideas, but how will the NDP with the coalition government implement these things?
Well, first off, we're not in a coalition. We're in a situation where we're forcing the government to act. And we've been doing that from the beginning since we started 2 years ago. We've been using our power to force this out-of-touch Liberal government to do things for people. One example is dental care. They were never going to do it. They voted against it. We forced them to bring it in. And now seniors like here in Winnipeg, like in Elmwood, Transcona, are able to go to the dentist and get their teeth looked after. That's something we force them to do. So we're going to keep on fighting on this. This is something the Liberals have shown that they're not into, and frankly, the Conservatives have opposed. We brought forward a plan that would do exactly that. Let's put in a price cap if these companies don't lower the prices of essentials, and the Liberals and Conservatives voted against that. The only ones that benefited from that vote are the corporate grocery stores. We were proposing something that's been done in other countries. We were saying let's lower the price of essentials immediately, not in some distant future, but let's immediately force them to lower prices, and the Liberals and Conservatives voted against it. We're not going to back down, though. We're going to keep on putting the pressure on them. We're going to say that this is something that Canadians need. I'm going to spend this summer hearing from people around our plan to make sure that we help people out, and we're going to keep on doing it.
Yeah, if you struggled already, how do you intend to get them on board going forward then?
Well, it's like a lot of things that we've done. We fought hard and we didn't give up, and we were able to make the change happen. For dental care, for example, it took us years to put pressure on the Liberals. They weren't going to do it, and we forced them to do it. On the GST rebate, now known as a grocery rebate, something that we put forward, Liberals are opposed to it, Conservatives were opposed to it. We kept on fighting, we forced them to do it, and now people get a grocery rebate. So we're not going to give up, we're not going to relent. We're going to keep on fighting for people. But we want to make it very clear, if the Liberals aren't doing this and the Conservatives aren't doing this, there's an election that's going to come up. And we want people to know they got a choice. They got a choice between out-of-touch Liberals, who haven't tackled this problem of corporate greed, Conservatives, who have been very clear they want to put more fuel on the fire, they want to let these corporations rip you off even more, or New Democrats who are making it clear where we stand. We want to fight for you against these corporate giants that are ripping you off and protect you and your families. That's the choice that people have. Okay. Thanks so much. That was awesome. I know that was really heavy. I was worried about you.